YouTube. It has been a long time, but Slugfest Wizard finally back, and I'm going to do my quick picks and predictions for UFC on Fox 6, Demetrius Johnson versus John Dodson. But first, here is a quick tour of my new place. Enjoy. Okay, now that that's done with, a lot of mixed martial arts stuff has happened since I've last posted my last video and all that stuff, but I'm getting back in the swing of things right now. I've got, so a couple things lined up. I've got off work early since some things have been going down with the commission, but still working, still looking for that next step, and things are working out well. But enough about me, here we go. Okay, from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, the UFC will be giving us its 6th big event on Fox. The previous one, Benson Henderson versus Nate Diaz, was a good card. I liked it, and it was part of what the UFC needed to kind of get into this next market of fans and all that stuff. But, alright. Let's just jump on into this from the top. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Back at UFC 152, I believe it was, I picked Joseph Benavidez to knock him out or win a decision over him, or maybe submit him even. But he has, ever since I saw him on Facebook fight Kid Yamamoto at UFC 126, yeah. UFC 126. He has gone on to do a lot more than I thought he would. I picked him to lose that one. He won that one by decision. He beat Miguel Torres. Then he lost to Dominic Cruz. I picked him to lose to that one. He originally beat Ian McCall in the flyweight tournament. Then he beat Ian McCall when I thought he'd lose to him again, and then he beat Joseph Benavidez. And now he is going to be defending his flyweight title for the first time against John Dodson, and it was a wise move for the UFC to put this fight on Fox, as Demetrius Johnson, let's face it right now, he has not proven to be a pay-per-view commodity or like a main serious draw yet, and this is a good way to help build his brand. His brand co-sponsored by Xbox 360. Okay. And John Dodson, let's see, what has he been competing from? I mean, he's been active since 2002, has a black belt in Gaido Jitsu, trains with Jackson MMA, and he won Season 14 of The Ultimate Fighter in a Knockout of the Night honors. He beat TJ Dillashaw. He also beat John Moraga, but after he beat Dillashaw, he won a decision over Tim Elliott and knocked out Usier Formiga at the Brown versus Bigfoot card. He's really proven himself, like the magician, John Dodson, has really proven himself to be a little, powerhouse of talent, explosive energy, and even he's got patience too, he's shown on the cage. Kind of like Mighty Mouse. So this is really two small guys that are put up a tremendous pace. They never get tired. They don't quit, and it has all the makings to be a memorable, action-packed fight. I picked against Demetrius Johnson enough in the past that I'm gonna have to change that up a bit. And I do have Demetrius Johnson winning this fight. I don't think he's gonna get a finish of any kind unless John Dodson tires and Demetrius is able to lock up a guillotine choke somewhere. Because, let me see, back when Johnson was in the UFC, in the WEC, he did defeat, he did submit Damasio Page in round 3. He also beat Nick Pace, and he actually lost to Brad Pickett. Yeah. The same Brad Pickett that just lost at the last UFC event. Speaking of which, Cain Velasquez, thank you, man. I always knew that you were really better than Junior Dos Santos. So thank you for, it wasn't the prettiest fight to watch occasionally, but you did what you needed to do, and you're the best heavyweight in mixed martial arts again, and good luck defending that belt. I really hope you do it. And I hope you knock Alistair Overeem the hell out. And Junior Dos Santos, don't worry, man. You will probably get your rubber match with Cain Velasquez, but sorry that the crowd was booing you. Okay. Oh yes, and Costa Philippou. I give a lot of credit to you too for doing what I didn't think you could do and upsetting the hot streak of Tim Boesch. You scored the big round that night, and Tim Boesch, sorry man, but you probably would have lost to Chris Weidman. I hope you gain your footing though. So tough break. And Costa Philippou, congratulations again. I wish some good things for you in the UFC's middleweight division. Okay. Back to Demetrious Johnson and John Dodson. Long story short, I mean, although it's not really long story short, but okay, Demetrious Johnson should be able to win this fight against John Dodson. I see Johnson being way too fast, way too unpredictable, and just way too confusing for John Dodson. And what Dodson is going to need is that one moment for Johnson to slow down and for him to clip him with that powerful left. He'll throw like the front right hook followed by a back left right hook. That's what he used to knock out his last opponent with. He'll need to do that, but Johnson has shown that he's got a very good chin. He's got great durability. He can escape from chokes really well. He's never been finished really in his notable now MMA career, and I see Johnson retaining the first and only ever UFC flyweight championship belt. So do your thing, man. Okay, next fight. Quinton Rampage Jackson versus Glover Teixeira. Well, Quinton, you want out of the UFC. Glover Teixeira is going to be the perfect, track for you to do that. Simple as this. Quinton Rampage Jackson is kind of a shell of his former self at this point. He could have beaten Ryan Bader. He didn't beat Ryan Bader. He should have destroyed Keith Jardine. He didn't do that, and that was almost a loss. You lost to Forrest Griffin. That was a fight you could have lost. Okay. I can't really hate on a guy like Rampage Jackson, but he's really underachieved in the later days of his UFC career, which is why I'm not a fan of his. He did some great things in Japan and in Pride, and he is that rare breed, like that rare hybrid of a fighter who is both, entertaining in the cage, when he's Rampage, not when he's Rampage. When he's like the slow power hook winging fighter that doesn't want to wrestle with people and that complains on Twitter. Rampage Jackson, I really just do not see how Quinton Rampage Jackson is going to win this fight. I question his heart and his motivation at this point, and he's admitted he doesn't like to train that much, and I don't know how much he's going to be training, and even if he is training hard, I don't see him being in that good of a shape at this point in his career to go 3 rounds with a guy like Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira has looked like a scary beast since he showed up at UFC 146. He is on like a really long winning streak. He's won like 17 straight, it looks like. He has an overall record of 19-2. His only losses coming to Ed Herman, actually, and Eric Schwartz. Alright. He choked out Kyle Kingsbury at UFC 146 at 1 minute and 53 seconds of the first round, and then after that, he brutally stopped Fabio Maldonado at UFC 153, which I just got on DVD. In October 13th of last year. He's very powerful, very violent. He's always in your face. A guy who's got a really solid ground game too. He's kind of still... No, wait. Wrong button. Okay. I'm using the iPad for the first time, as you can see. He trains with Marco Huas and John Hackelman, so he's always being pushed all the time, and this is a huge opportunity for him. So, really, I don't want to dwell on the co-main event, which I have a feeling is kind of going to be the main event of this card, unfortunately, for Mighty Mouse and the Magician. But Glover Teixeira should win this fight and defeat Quentin Rampage Jackson. I see him... I don't feel like he's going to knock him out, though. Because Rampage Jackson, even though he's not, you know, the fighter that he once was, he still has proven that he's got a really good chin. And, Glover Teixeira could submit him, so I have it being maybe a doctor stoppage before round 3 begins, or a technical knockout in probably round 3, in which the referee just tells Glover Teixeira, stop hitting this dude, he can't fight anymore. Next fight. And after that, Quentin Rampage Jackson will leave the UFC and then probably complain about it more or something, I don't know. Okay, the light heavyweight fight. And the fight that I'm really looking forward to the most, Anthony Pettis versus Donald Cerrone. The war of words between these two have come to an end, basically. Anthony Pettis was a guy that caught my attention and the attention of the entire mixed martial arts universe by the Showtime kick, obviously, that he used to defeat Benson Henderson with. Well, he didn't defeat him with that one. That was kind of, you know, what people remember the most. Still, one of only 2 guys to have defeated Benson Henderson, but what do you know, Ben Henderson went on to actually become the UFC lightweight champion. And whereas Donald Cerrone has been very active in the UFC in the past year or so, and has been racking up lots of wins. He beat, in the WC, he beat Jamie Varner, Chris Rodesky, and in the UFC, he beat Paul Kelly, Wagner Hocher, Charles Oliveira, Dennis Seaver, lost to Nate Diaz, and then he beat Jeremy Stevens. I saw that live in Virginia. And then he knocked out Melvin Guillard in a stunning fight. I thought I had a feeling he could do that one, when he almost got finished. And for the longest time, like, Cerrone, simple as this, I really don't see Anthony Pettis being able to knock out Cerrone. As fantastic of a striker as Pettis is, Donald Cerrone just has one of the toughest, most durable chins I've ever seen. He took a huge punch, like a huge hook, right on the jaw from Melvin Guillard, and he was knocked down, but he just kind of stumbled back, and like 20 seconds later, he ends up knocking out Guillard with a head kick and a punch. Damn. You know, he's one of those tough country boys you don't want to mess with. But here's why I think Anthony Pettis is going to win this fight. This is the closest one on the card, to be honest. So I could be eating my words. I could be 100% wrong. But let's see, how much time do we have? 12 minutes. Okay. And like Donald Cerrone is really good when he is like in control of the fight at all times, and when he's getting into your head and he's frustrating you. But if you start getting into his head, he just kind of he short circuits in his brain. I think he could have beat Nate Diaz, but he just kind of didn't go with what was working for him. You know, the leg kicks. And he didn't try to take him down, he didn't try to wrestle with him, and Donald Cerrone, he's a guy to never get kept on his back that long. So I don't see Anthony Pettis doing that either. I think that if Anthony Pettis tries to out-wrestle Donald Cerrone, he's going to fail, and Donald Cerrone will out-grapple him and out-decision him. I don't think he's going to finish him. Anthony Pettis has never been finished, whereas Donald Cerrone has been submitted at least one time by Benson Henderson. And so I see Anthony Pettis again being too confusing out there and really just being faster and getting into Cerrone's head and winning at least a split decision over him. And then after that, I really hope that they do Henderson versus Pettis 2 on pay-per-view. Okay. And in that fight, I think I would actually pick Benson Henderson to beat Pettis that time, provided the Showtime kick doesn't land, and because Benson Henderson has just been far more active than Pettis has. Okay. So Pettis, good luck. I really hope you get the win. Yeah. Okay, next. Eric Koch versus Ricardo Lamas. Eric Koch, they promised you a, I'm going to be mostly quick about this, okay? So before we get to the FX card, okay, Eric Koch versus Ricardo Lamas. They promised you, Eric Koch, a shot at Jose Aldo. You basically turned it down. Now Frank Edgar's getting that one. You came in and you beat Rafael Sunkau in 2011. You knocked him out. And then you beat Jonathan Brookins. Okay. And then you beat Ricardo Lamas, and after that, you will probably get your shot when you feel like you're against Jose Aldo, because the featherweight division is already kind of suffering as it is. Ricardo Lamas looked good against Hatsuhioki, and he also beat, he submitted Cub Swanson, actually, at the Velasquez versus Dos Santos card. And then he beat Matt Grice, too, so this is a close one, too, but I'm going to go with Eric Koch to win by probably knockout round 1 or round 2. If not, Ricardo Lamas will probably find a way to choke him out. Okay, and the rest of the card, I'm going to pick TJ Grant, actually, to defeat Matt Wyman. Clay Guida, coming off of his less than inspiring performance against Gray Maynard, to defeat Hatsuhioki. Pascal Cross to defeat Mike Stumpf. Ryan Bader to defeat Vladimir Matyushenko. Mike Russo to defeat Sean Jordan. And Rafael Natal to defeat Sean Spencer. And David Mitchell to defeat Simone Thorson. So there we go. Those are my predictions for that card. It's going to be great. And after that, we get the most anticipated flyweight fight, in my opinion, Jose Aldo versus former lightweight champ Frank Edgar. Keep up with mixed martial arts, guys. Later.